All right, so we were just pulling leg, doing stuff here, right? And we come down and here we are at the side body. So this would be a good time if, say, we hadn't already addressed and figured out that their psoas was a problem. This is a good time because here we are at their side. But here's where we come into the abdominal work. So what you do is you find the little notch right underneath where the ribs are, and this is where our hand should fit perfectly. Unless you have like freakishly, wonderfully large hands, it should be perfect. You shouldn't be in anyone's personal space. And what we'll do is a little clockwise pressure. So think about it like a clock, starting here at 12, going to 2. So then I'm here, right? I'm going to come to this point and start here. Coming down to about like 5. Down to the bottom. So this would be a great time that you could come in. This is a very basic, we're just saying hello to the abs. Now, do we do this to everyone? Most clients, we don't even touch their stomach. Most clients don't feel comfortable. I don't know how you guys are with your sessions, but you know, I do ask, is there any areas that have had recent injuries? Are there any areas where you're not comfortable receiving work? You know, just so we can go ahead and get that out of the way, because I would rather that us have that all cleared up before we even get into the session. They're like, hey, that's awkward or uncomfortable, or I don't like that. So I always clear that up in the beginning. If they don't like abdominal, they'll tell you. And you know, if you have things to do, like we say, we're not doing a routine, we're doing what the client needs. So if they don't need abdominal work, you wouldn't even have to add this in. But we want to go ahead and address it because this is a piece of the body that's always getting left out. We are never touching this. Yeah. You know, most clients don't know to ask for psoas work. Typically, they're complaining of hip pain or this other stuff, which is the psoas pain, but they don't know to ask. And if we're not educated on the psoas, then we're just skipping over all this stuff. So anyway, Robert teaches, he actually offers how long do you offer your abdominal work? Is it a 2-hour?
Yeah.
Where basically we would use coconut oil, you know, soften and go in and work. I feel like it's 2 hours or 90 minutes.
Is that like so someone has like digestive issues? Is that whenever they want abdominal work, or is it like someone's having cramp? Like what type of
Yep,
cramp?
both of them.
One of the things that's happened is at a point I decided to make it its own offering on my menu of services, because I was thinking that I could draw women and work on severe menstrual cramps or other issues that women have reported to me that they have great cessation of pain from. So I was trying to like offer it as a standalone service to make it focus on problem solution. The challenge was my practice had grown so much that I was like, at one point I was going to make a waiting list, and I was like, dude, just take down the scheduler. Like I was so swamped trying to teach and do all of this stuff and work with Kristen and like everything that I was like, I can't focus on building just this one thing. Does it make sense? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question.
I also do think that maybe as a woman, it might be easier for us to market abdominal work for menstrual cramps or things like that.
Endometriosis.
Was that?
Endometriosis.
Yeah, 100%. And like that would be a great way to market that. You know, and even if you don't do a whole session with abdominal, to just add some for those clients. I mean, like my client I had that was having that hip pain, when I came in, I was like, oh my God. I was like, girl, we have so much tension here. I was like, you know, if you're ever interested, we can do a session that has a little more focus to your abdominal region to kind of help release some of this stuff. Because, you know, once we come in here, that's causing some of this back pain, right? So anyway, the way we're teaching it in the book is we're just coming in and kind of addressing, saying hello and not leaving it out, right? At this point, we're going to come in, we're going to work from here, we're going to come to the arm. So as we come in, once again, if the client has pressure sensitivities, we may not stack over quite as much. I'm really into rocking, and I call this making snakes. In the book, we're just palm pressing the line. But I just really like to warm it up before we do any pec work or, you know, anything. It needs to have a nice little warm up. Because once you're throwing a knee into the pec or any of those things, doing any of this arm work that we're going to show you, you will appreciate having the tissue warmed up rather than just going in cold. We haven't touched the arms really except during that twist. So everything's pretty cold. But as we're pressing, we're really trying to feel where's the tissue feeling more dense. So palm press, we go into our wonderful finger. Come in and press the line with the finger. Do I ever do this? Once again, the answer is negative. And I will show you what I do instead of this. Yeah. So this line is running between the ulna and the radius and between the bicep and the tricep. So the way, should I just go ahead and show it now? I'm going to. Cool. So the way that I would actually do this work is I'm going to come in with my foot. The same as you were saying earlier, I can't remember who said it, was one of you guys about the gas pedal. That's exactly what it is. We want to keep our heel on the ground and so that we have control. We don't want to cause any damage or harm to our receiver. The same as the legs, the muscle is thicker towards the elbow than towards the wrist. So I like to start towards the elbow. You can come in and kind of just give a little hello to everything and just kind of see what's going on. But generally, I'm going to come up and give a nice little compression here. How's that? Is that enough pressure?
Yeah.
Cool. So you still have these hands, we can come down and just kindly remember that our hands can be sharp. Get a little warm up to the bicep, to the pec, little delt. You can even come down here to the hand. For me, if I was planning to do hand stuff, I would probably switch my foot that I was going to be stepping on her, so I'm not crossing across my body like that. And I'm going to make sure I'm doing a good point first. Good pressure. I'll even come in, work the hand a little bit. So we briefly were kind of showing you this in table tie, right? But in table tie, we had to use our knee on the table because we didn't have the option to have this arm flayed out like this. You will, as you start doing this work and you have other therapists come in to receive from you, they're going to come to you just to have their arm stepped on. Like, you know how it is, as a massage therapist, you go to someone, you're like, my arms and hands are hurting. How much time do they actually spend on your...
Such a tease.
Because they can't. Because all of their hands are hurting, right?
Yeah.
They don't have, their hands are beat up from massaging everyone all day long with these hands. So now they come to you, they're like, oh my God, I'm finally receiving some work. So what I'm doing here is I'm holding a static compression. You can see that as I'm holding here, her hand is getting pale. So not, I always say it the wrong way that Robert doesn't like it. I mean, we wouldn't say this to the client, but I'm actually creating a blood stop, right?
Never use that word.
Don't like it, right? It's an articular, wait, why am I saying it wrong?
So
It's a tourniquet.
why do I say that it's an arterial
Ulterior.
An arterial
I'm trying to say
tourniquet
artery
instead
or
of a blood
arterial. Or arterial.
Because it
Say that.
Because it scares white people who say, I need my blood to move. I don't want my blood to stop.
Do you have numbness tingling?
A little bit.
Cool. I'm not worried about that.
I'm like, but I like it.
Yeah, she likes it.
Changing language changes who wants the work. A tourniquet is how you save somebody's life.
Arterial tourniquet.
Can we
I
call
said
it blood flow restriction training or blood flow restriction therapy?
But is that outside of our...
So, well, no, hold on.
It's muscle flossing and uses voodoo floss.
So,
Yeah?
if you
I'm going to slowly come off. I want you to watch her hand.
I want you to be cautious because you're in Texas.
Very
and also
slow.
in Arkansas.
Very slow.
If you get too crafty with language,
See that flush?
is the state board going to come back?
You felt that warm just shoot down the arm?
And I'm serious. Like, I have major legal
Just doing
problems
this
with
work
my
in the
work.
arm, when you're having hand pain, it will you'd be like,
shit
dude, you haven't even barely touched my hand and my hands are feeling better. It's like all that fresh blood coming, moving all the blood and lymph around and getting
I have a hard
flesh.
time thinking that